The sack of Rome, 1527, the day the eternal city fell. For over 1,000 years, Rome had stood, eternal, sacred, untouchable. But on May 6, 1527, the city fell not to invading pagans or barbarian hordes, but to the Christian soldiers of the Holy Roman Empire. Among the rubble and screams, a small group of men made their final stand, and became legends. This is the story of the sack of Rome, and the last stand of the Swiss Guard. The early 16th century was a time of brutal politics and shifting alliances. Charles V, Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire, was locked in a fierce power struggle with King Francis I of France. Italy was their battleground. And the Papal States? Caught in the middle. Pope Clement VII, a member of the powerful Medici family, tried to balance diplomacy with both sides. But when he allied with France in the League of Cognac against Charles V, the emperor's patience snapped. By early 1527, a force of over 20,000 imperial troops was marching south, an army of Spanish tercios, German landsknechts, and Italian mercenaries. Many were unpaid and mutinous. Their commanders could barely hold them together. Their destination? Rome. And they weren't marching under orders. They were marching out of desperation and rage. Rome, the spiritual capital of the Christian world, was largely undefended. The walls were decaying. The city's defenders numbered fewer than 5,000, most of them militia. Only one group was truly ready to fight, the Pontifical Swiss Guard. Founded in 1506, the Swiss Guard were elite warriors, trained, disciplined, and fiercely loyal. On May 6, 1527, just 189 of them stood between Pope Clement VII and the rampaging imperial army. As the enemy breached the city walls, chaos spread. The streets filled with smoke, screams, and gunfire. The Swiss Guard formed ranks on the steps of St. Peter's Basilica. Their mission: protect the Pope at all costs. They held their ground as thousands descended upon them. Steel met steel in the shadow of the great basilica. One by one, they fell, but they bought time. Precious minutes. Long enough for the Pope to flee through the Parcetto di Borgo, a secret elevated corridor linking the Vatican to Castel Sant'Angelo. Only 42 Swiss Guards survived the day. They retreated with the Pope, bloodied but unbroken. The rest, 147 men, died in place, defending the spiritual heart of Christendom. Their sacrifice is still honored every year on May 6, the date of their last stand. While the Swiss Guard fought with honor, the city behind them fell into horror. The sack had begun. Churches were looted. Nuns and priests were assaulted. Cardinals were dragged through the streets. Entire families were tortured for ransom. The looting lasted 8 days. The occupation lasted 9 months. Disease broke out. Starvation gripped the survivors. The Eternal City had become a graveyard. Pope Clement VII was trapped in his fortress for weeks. When he finally surrendered, he was forced to pay a colossal ransom, 400,000 ducats, and promise political concessions that would shift the power balance in Europe. Charles V had not ordered the sack, but he benefited from it. The Pope's power was shattered. The Holy Roman Emperor now had a tighter grip on the Church than any man before him. The sack of Rome marked the end of the High Renaissance. Artists fled. Patrons died. The creative heart of Europe skipped a beat. Today, visitors walk the same streets. Tour St. Peter's Basilica. Watch the Swiss Guard stand in colorful silence. But the memory of that day in 1527 lives on, in scars, in stories, and in the eternal question: how could the seat of Christianity fall to Christian hands? In the darkest hour of the Eternal City, 189 men stood their ground. They did not retreat. They did not surrender. They simply fought, and died, for something greater. Thank you for watching. If you found this story powerful, subscribe for more untold moments from history. And let us know in the comments, what historical event should we cover next?